All right, guys, it's tinfoil hat time. So I'm going to put on my tinfoil hat here, okay? I want to talk about elections, and I want to talk about abuse of power, and I want to talk about how those things are going to come together to keep the Republicans in power for the next decade, okay? So in 2020, we know for a fact that Donald Trump sent fake electors from swing states. He directed them to go down to Washington and try to certify the election for himself as opposed to Joe Biden. This is illegal. This is against the law, and he did it anyway, okay? We know this for a fact. This is indisputable. So that tells us a couple things. That tells us that Donald Trump does not want to cede power, and it tells us that he is okay with breaking the law to maintain power, okay? This is indisputable. You can't come up with any other narrative at the base level of that narrative other than those two things being true, okay? So if we know this about Donald Trump, and we know he's okay with breaking the law, that means he's okay with doing it again. There's a reason that Steve Bannon keeps saying and has been saying that Donald Trump is going to run again. Why? Because even though the Constitution says one thing, this administration is hell-bent on trying to create brand new narratives about what the Constitution says. And it's crazy because the vast majority of his supporters believe it, regardless of what the actual Constitution says. It's nuts. So, here's what I think is going to happen. The Big Beautiful Bill awarded Donald Trump $150 billion to throw into ICE, all right? Specifically into the organization that is ICE. It's going to make it a larger military force than the Marines, okay? So what is he going to do with this military force? Because if they're successful, they're going to get all the illegal immigrants out of the country, and they're going to do that in the next couple of years. So they're going to need a huge budget and a bunch of people for something else, right? And they're already claiming that all the border crossings are down, so it's not like a bunch of illegals are coming into the country and they're going to have an issue to deal with. What I think he's going to do is he's going to quell rebellion. And why would people start to rebel? Well, because he's going to do illegal shit. So I bet he's going to send ICE agents into polling places on election day. So this is for the midterms and the next presidential election. And he's going to direct them to start apprehending anybody that looks brown and black or like a minority. That could be an immigrant. People that look like me, okay? Why would he do this? Because overwhelmingly, Democrats are made up by minorities as opposed to Republicans. Republicans are a very, very white party, okay? Not even just at the top. I'm just talking about the makeup of the party, the supporters of the party. So he's going to direct them to start apprehending anybody that looks like me. And this is how, on election day, he wins again. And then he's going to be able to write the narrative that this is what America wanted. Now, this is highly illegal, but you have to understand, let's say they start doing this and they start throwing people into jail or just apprehending them and stopping them from voting. He wins, right? And then these people, they get thrown in camps. They have no legal recourse, okay? Let's say after election day, they decide they want to sue the government. There's a massive lawsuit. It doesn't matter. He still won. He gets to control the levers of power at that point. He gets to write the story. What, you're going to complain to the DOJ that's run by Donald Trump that supports him to be reelected? This is an easy playbook. And we have no reason to believe that he's not going to do this. So, the question is, when he does this, what are you going to do? Because at this point, following the law is not going to help you fix the problem. Now, I know this sounds far-fetched, and I'm really hoping some of you out there can explain to me specifically why this could never happen. I'm hoping you do that. It'll make me feel better. But I'm doing this because we tried to raise the alarm about Project 25 before the election, and everybody told us that would never happen. It could never happen. It's just this crazy conspiracy theory. And I think we're like 60% done. Like, the progress bar is almost full for Project 2025. We talked about ICE going after everybody, not just the criminals. And you guys said, no, they're just going after the criminals. Don't worry about that. You're just making stuff up. And like, here we are. They're detaining people in courthouses at their asylum hearings, which is crazy. So there's this trend where we're freaking out a little bit, and then you tell us to stop because it's over nothing. And then it happens and they're just like, whatever, not my concern. So please explain to me how this can't happen.